Hello, Ethan. Welcome to our virtual drum lesson. How's the virtual education going? Pretty weird, huh? So here we go. Your assignment for this week. um, let's revisit this page. Can you see that? That's our samba partido alto stuff, right? Um, let's set our metronome to 105 for this and practice through all these grooves. But let's put a half note in the right hand on the right cymbal, and let's also put half notes in the left foot. And let's just go with that eighth to half kick drum part just on beat 2. So the feet we'd have 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? So we're really just forcing ourselves to like feel this in 2 like crazy, even though I was seeing that in your playing a couple weeks ago, which was awesome. But I'm guessing maybe you haven't spent a ton of time just playing halves here and just playing halves here and only playing the kick around beat 2 and not playing it on beat 1. So I thought that would be cool, and then just running through those left hand partido alto patterns. And probably what I would do is like get the feet going and the right hand going, and then bring in the left hand and like just try to memorize where the group of 4 is and the group of 3 is, so we're really feeling that as a clave. And then just groove on that for a while until it feels good and you're remembering what the partido alto is. And then just leave the left hand out, but keep everything else going, and then kind of glance over and look at the next one and bring the left hand in for that. So each time you switch grooves, you're giving the left hand a rest, and you're giving your brain a rest so that you're not confusing partido altos, because generally, if it's an authentic thing, like they're kind of keeping that throughout the tune as a clave to some degree, although it is improvised sometimes, but it's nice to really feel those as individual entities, as if they were their own songs. So it's not about reading from one line to the next and playing each one for 4 bars or like, fuck that. We'll just do it this way. So let me just demonstrate. So there's 105. So we get this going. I'll just do the first couple. 1, 2, 1, Here's the first one. Anyways, you see I can play with the left hand voicing, right? So like, do the cross stick thing, then play it on snare, and then you can move around the toms a little bit, and then my left hand got the best of me and I messed up. But then you just kind of move on to the next one. Cool. So that's kind of a challenge when you start voicing it differently. Being able to remember where those 4s and upbeat 3s are gets a little more challenging when you're breaking those up amongst the different voices. So it's kind of a cool exercise. It really solidifies the clave that you're feeling and memorizing. Okay, cool. So you could do that with that page. The next thing that I thought we could do, or I thought you could do, is do like a samba improvisation. And I want to see if you can record this into Reaper. Use your mic for that. And use a dedicated click track in Reaper set at 105. So no external metronome for this. I put together a video that I'm containing in the email that this was in that explains how to set up the click in Reaper. And then I want you to record 2 different samba improvisations and bounce them out as stems. So I also get the click and send them to me by the end of the day on Friday at the end of the week, if you can. And the challenge here is we're going to go right hand brush, left hand stick. And we're at 105. Make each one like 2 minutes long. So I actually got a timer here, and I'm setting it to 2 minutes, and I'll just demonstrate a version of that for 2 minutes. And other than that, no real rules. Like, you can think batucada a little bit, you can think partido alto a little bit, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can more solo, in and out of grooves, trading with yourself, like however you want to approach it. It's up to you. So let me try to find something that's sort of like what I'm talking about, and I'll play for the next couple minutes. And you do not have to do what I do. You should do what you do. So here's 105, and let's go stick in the right hand, brush in the left hand for a couple minute improvisation, and then we're gonna switch. So we'll go brush in the right hand and stick in the left hand. So the whole point of this very bizarre, challenging exercise is that this actually happens sometimes, like in the real world, like low volume gigs or whatever. Sometimes it feels nice to play, like, let's say it's like a backbeat thing. Play like a backbeat groove with a brush in your left hand and a stick in your right hand. So you get the clarity on the cymbals, but you can stay low volume and get a solid snare drum sound with a brush. So that would be one example. But really, it's just nice to challenge ourselves because it's very hard when you have a different tool in each hand. So, like, if we're going stick right, brush left, we're going to have to sort of change our default mix, what would normally be our default mix. So the right hand is going to have to play quieter than it wants to a lot of times, and the brush left hand is going to have to be louder than it wants to. So we have like this imbalanced weird mix going on. And just doing things like a single stroke roll on the snare drum, you know, it's like they're just uneven and they sound different, which can be cool, but it's a challenge. So anyway, here's 105. I'll demonstrate this version. So that was a couple minutes, and that was fun. You may notice my phrasing is all over the place. I typically kind of play in one when I do these types of things. So I just, like, I don't care about bar lines. Like, I'm sure there's tons of 4-bar phrases in there, but then there's tons of weird phrases in there. And, like, I think it's just cool to do that if it's just you by yourself. Like, obviously I can play a 4-bar phrase if I have to, but, you know, it's a little more fun to play more open like that. So you do one version like that, record it into Reaper using a dedicated click, and then switch. So you throw your stick in your left hand, brush in your right hand, and it's a totally different ball game. Anyways, you get the idea. So those two ended up being very different by just switching the tools because it makes me play differently. So it's cool and it's fun. So, okay. We got practicing the Partido Alto page as discussed earlier. And we got the 2 samba improvisations recorded into Reaper. Let's see. Yeah, bounce them out as WAV files and send them to me through WeTransfer, because maybe we'll decide to do something with them, and I'd rather have WAV files than MP3 files. And then the third thing, I made a 20-minute video on the samples, and I'll just let you watch the video. And, well, I guess I'll mention that it looks like you got to redo the samples again. Sorry. I think we'll nip it in the bud this time. Okay, cool. Let me know if you have any questions. And I think the goal is that you can kind of shoot me this stuff on Friday, end of the week. And by the end of the day on Friday. Because I need like a couple days to like listen to it and review it all, and then put together new shit for you for the week after. So that would be awesome. And I don't necessarily need to hear this Partido Alto stuff. Just practice it and it'll come out in your playing. So just give me the 2 sambas and make sure your samples are good to go. And then we'll move forward. Cool. All right, man. I will talk to you soon. See ya.